guys? It is MegaBlitzz, and today the plan is to show you what I believe to be the best deck to climb the Pokemon TCG Live ranked ladder. I've been playing Pokemon now for about 3 years. About January 2020 is when I started. Took a break kind of during COVID, and then I've recently come back as of the last like 6-ish months now, and I've really been taking a very big interest in the competitive scene, and I've been having tons of fun. I've played tons of different decks right now, and I am by far not the best player by any imagined desire at all. But I do feel like I have some good amount of bit of knowledge about the game, and I feel like I'm a pretty okay player. I know I make mistakes just like anybody else does. So yeah, let's just jump right into the deck list here. Alrighty guys, here we are with the deck list. So, it is very skeleton cookie cutter list here. We are playing the 2 Lumineon, 1 Pumpkaboo, so we can ditch that path of Pete that gets stuck pretty early at times, Stonjourner, so we can deal with that Miraidon matchup, and your Archeops decks that kind of sometimes randomly just appear. Your big hitter T-Tar, your backup Yveltal, Cobalion, so we can deal with that Charizard EX, your 4 Archeops, your 4-3 line for Lugia, your 1 Squawkabilly to discard cards early in the game. And then we have our 4 Capturing Aroma, we have our 2 Nest Ball, our 4 Ultra Ball, our 3 Urn of Vitality, our 1 Collapsed Stadium, 2 Mesagoza. I've seen a lot of people play a 2-2 of this, like a 2 Collapsed Stadium, 2 Mesagoza. I really prefer just 1 Collapsed Stadium because sometimes I end up needing to like put that Pumpkaboo down, and I have Collapsed Stadium out, and I'm like, all right, I only have 4 bench spots, and I just filled up my second or third one, so I can put the Archeops there, and now I can't summoning star for 2 Archeops. I only have to do it for 1 this turn. So I really prefer just having that 1 Collapsed Stadium sometimes in the late game. Our 2 Boss, 3 Iono, 1 Penny, 1 Professor Burnet. I've seen a lot of people play like 2 Professor Burnet. I really prefer just 1 Professor Burnet. There's been tons of times where it's sitting in my hand and I'm like, man, I really wish it was like an Iono or Professor's Research or something else of a supporter, or even a Capturing Aroma to find like Lumineon to, you know, find a different supporter that turn. 3 Professor's Research, and this is where mine's like, it's like probably say very different. We are running our 4 single trick energies, which everybody does. I am running 4 DTEs. I've seen a lot of people only run 3 DTEs. I really like running 4, just because sometimes when you start a game and you're starting active Pokemon, it's like a Pumpkaboo or Cobalion, you're like, man, I really don't want this in the active. You just attach DTE later on in the game, like turn 2, if you can get your Archeops on that, Archeops rolling kind of that early, and then just retreat out of that. I am running 3 V-Guard, 2 Gift Energy. I've seen a lot of people run the 3-3 split of that. I really do like running the 1 Jet Energy, so I kind of went back and forth of like, do I cut a V-Guard, do I cut a Gift? I'm still kind of leaning towards the 3 V-Guard just because Lost Tina is pretty big. You have your Turbo Lost box with like Dragonite, obviously doesn't stop Raikou or anything, unless it's on like a T-Tar, but I really do like the 1 Jet Energy. It has come in clutch for me a couple times where I'm just like, alright, Jet Energy attached, put this up in the active, and I don't have to waste anything retreating or sacrifice anything or anything of that nature. So I do prefer that. So now, let's get into some gameplay. Alrighty guys, it is future MegaBlitzz here, and while editing I had realized that I did not talk about a very specific card that is played in a lot of Lugia matchups, which is Radiant Testrini. And Radiant Testrini is a card that you definitely can play. Its ability to elegant heal and heal 20 damage off of all of your Pokemon is really strong, and it is really good in those matchups against Rapid Box and against decks that play the Sableye, you know, Turbo Lost Box, Lost Tina, things of that nature. It is really good for those, but I have leaned more towards of taking it out and playing that 4th DTE just because I like to be able to have that early game access to be able to retreat out of that Pumpkaboo or that Cobalion or Squawkabilly or Lumineon or whatever I need to get out of that active spot, just to have that extra energy in there to be able to just move it out of the active. And you're already rather favorable, in my opinion, in the Lost Zone matchups. They're probably like 50-50, maybe 55-45. It's very tough for them to come back if you start getting that early Cragalanche and stuff in, and you start getting those really early knockouts because you're 2-3 prizes up sometimes. So it's really difficult for them to get the engine kind of rolling again if you're already that far ahead, especially if they're playing like Lost Tina, because V-Guard Energy saves you a lot in that matchup, which is really good. But the rapid box matchup you're already very favorable in, and taking out Radiant Tyranitar does hurt you in some sort of capacity, but not enough to make it a 50-50 matchup or an unfavorable matchup, in my opinion. I still feel like you're incredibly favorable in that matchup just because they're doing like 140 with G-Max Spiral, trying to spread damage with double gunners and stuff against Lugia is rather difficult, especially when your stuff's pretty big to begin with, and then you play V-Guard Energy on top of that. It makes it very difficult for them to take those big knockouts and things of that nature. So for those reasons, I don't play Radiant Tyranitar. And for that, let's get back to the video. Alrighty, and like I said, I have climbed the ranked ladder somewhat far, just playing solely Lugia for the most part. I am sitting just out of Umbreon League. Man, it's been a blast. So hopefully we can get a good game rolling here. So let's get one going. I really do like Lugia. It does feel like it's one of the more easier decks to pick up and kind of figure out how to play. Not like it's definitely one of those decks where, as the saying goes, you know, easy to play, hard to master kind of thing, and I'm by far from a master of it. But I will say I feel like I do have a pretty decent understanding of what is going on. Alright, so we've got a game here, and let's see. Always Tails. I'm a big Tails guy. I always pick Tails. I don't know what it is. It works out from time to time. Sometimes it doesn't. Do I want to go first? We always want to go first with Lugia. I can never think of a lot of times where I don't ever want to go first most of the time, because you really want to be able to get that evolution pretty quickly. Alright, so this hand is quite the something here. We're going to start with the Lugia in the active. We have Lumineon here if we need to, like, Professor Burnet if we have it, or research if we don't have Burnet or anything in there. Alright, let's see what we're playing against. I try to never assume with the sleeves, but with the sleeves, we are playing against the Mew here. So let's just flip this Capturing Aroma and see if we can survive a turn one dunk. Maybe not here. Alright, so we have our 3 Lugia VSTAR. We have all 4 of those. We want to check to see if I have that Burnet, and we do have that Burnet, so that is good. Just kind of like flicking through and checking prizes here. It looks like we got most things that we're gonna need. We are missing a Mesagoza. We're missing that Jet Energy, and it seems, are we missing both Gift Energies? We sure are. So we are missing quite a bit, actually. All right, let's just grab this Lugia VSTAR here. Definitely want to bet something because we want to survive turn one dunk, but I don't want them to know that I have Lumineon in my hand to grab Burnet right now. So I really think I'm just going to drop this here and then just pass to them. And then we can hopefully next turn, if they do not Iono or anything, we can go Lumineon V, grab that Professor Burnet, discard 2 Archeops, and we have that VSTAR in our hand, and then just evolve and go from there. Alright, so he's going to start with the Chromatic here. Discard Ultra Ball. Okay. Do we hit the heads? He does hit the heads. That is one of those things with that Mew deck is, you know, it's the Mew deck in Lugia, it's very much just that weird thing where you're flipping coins, you're rolling dice, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it does not. And that's what you just love to see here. I'm very curious. I'm trying to think of what he would grab. Like, probably Battle VIP. I feel like that's probably something you're going through. He's probably just checking prizes and stuff at the moment, which is totally okay here. Alright. He did. I'm pretty confident he did grab that Battle VIP. Alright, drop the Genesect and a Mew. Or Meloetta, sorry. Very, okay, for a Sealstone. Okay, do you grab another Battle VIP? Ultra Ball, discard 2 cards. Okay. Interesting. Mew, VMAX, and a Chromatic. Very, okay. Another Genesect. Yep. Playing the Genesect. Fusion Strike, and then Fusion Strike System. Perfect. This is sometimes one of the things you just love to see with the Mute deck. It's firing on all cylinders. You're drawing all the cards you need to draw. Was that I believe that was a Deoxys that I just caught a glimpse of. It was. Okay, so very interesting. I'm very into this. I do think that this card is a good card. I think Deoxys is very underrated, and a lot of people don't play it, and I do think it is good. We're really kind of hoping that for him to not play that Iono. All right, so we are okay. He is going to play that Alyssa Sparkle, which is totally okay. That means he is used as a supporter for the turn, which therefore means that there is no Iono. So we are going to be set up in a pretty good position here to get our Archeops and stuff set up, which will be very nice. Another Battle VIP pass. Very interesting. This man is firing on all cylinders. This is incredible. I'm a big believer, and I just love good games. You know, win or lose, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to play good games. Of course, everybody likes to win. You like to win. But if I had a good game at the end of the day, that's all I really, truly care about. You know, that's the only thing that matters to me is having that good game. And a path. Okay, so this doesn't change things. That's good. I did not think of that. All right. So we'll evolve here. We will discard these, and then find that Pumpkaboo. And this is what I mean, like sometimes you just have to slam down the Pumpkaboo. Pumpkin Pit. We will use Pumpkin Pit. Bench this Lumineon. I will grab myself that Professor Burnet to get that second Archeops, because I did put one in there with the Ultra Ball. So Professor Burnet. And we will dump both of those. Alright. And then we will Summoning Star. Put both of them on the bench here. And we will start powering up some energies. We'll do this one and this. And I'm in this weird spot too where like all my two gift energies and my two gen energies are prized. So I have to do the very weird, unfortunate thing and attach a second V-Guard energy to this Lugia. They do not stack, so that's why it's a little goofy here. But it'll all work out. Because we are going to take a knockout here. So we will Tempest Dive for 200. He's probably going to hit us pretty big in the crack with this Meloetta. I couldn't think he would put up anything else, in my opinion. Alright, there's our Jet and Gift Energy, so that's pretty good. Interesting, he puts up the Mew. Okay, so I guess maybe his hand might not be as good as we thought it was. And he is trying to bait us in with that Boss of Disaster, which is very smart play. Okay, so we're still in a pretty okay spot. We haven't used too many of our resources, which is really good. You don't really care to keep Stonjourner in here in this matchup. Judge, okay, very interesting. That's totally okay with us, actually, because that means the energy are back in the deck, which I don't dislike at all, because that gives us a chance to, obviously, Primal Turbo into them. We did draw into 2 T-Tars, which is not necessarily bad either, but in this matchup, I try really hard to roll with Yveltal when I'm attacking, solely just because, I mean, it's a single prizer, it hits Mew VMAX for weakness, so you just put 3, you know, single strike energies onto it, and you're hitting for weakness, and you're taking 3 prizes, and if they hit you like Crackback and they don't have boss or anything, they're only taking 1, so you're trading very highly there, and I really do like to see it. Alright, Choice Bell, okay, I feel like you're probably going to retreat out of this into the Meloetta at this rate here. You're definitely firing a lot of things off. You've used a lot of your resources as well. I mean, you have 3 power tablets. Yeah, you're definitely gonna hit this Meloetta or this Lugia here with your Meloetta very big. Another path, interesting. But we're kind of okay now. We don't care too much about path. Is that all 3 crams? Okay, it's 3 crams, or sorry, all 4 crams. They play 4, but he's used 3. He has 1 power tablet left somewhere. Yep. Okay. We could throw up the Archeops there and then take the knockout with that. But if I draw into a boss, we're in a pretty cool spot. Or like Mesagoza, flip Mesagoza, hit it, get Lumineon would be kind of cool, because then I can Lumineon 5 boss, Primal Turbo, like, you know, kill the, knock out this, with Yveltal after Primal Turboing and stuff. I think what I'll do is I'll go here. Because I'm going to, if I, worst case scenario, I take the knockout with this. Okay, so this is good here. This is good. We can go attach to Archeops, retreat, find our second Lumineon, boss up Mew VMAX. Take 3 prize. I kind of like this. Okay, so we'll attach here for turn. We'll Ultra Ball away. Let me make sure. Okay, we'll discard this. Find this Lumineon here. Yeah, okay. Actually, that's not great. Because I forgot about Path to the Peak. Very interesting. So, this works out though. We can still do it like this. This is fine. We'll put on this gift actually. I kind of like putting that on instead. And then take a knockout with this. Does he trade with? He's gonna knock out with that, I believe. This is very interesting here. This is very interesting. We'll start trying to get this Yveltal ready. Sometimes you just forget about Path of the Peak. Get going in your own head, and you start really thinking there. I think I just speedwing for the knockout, and then we'll take a prize here. Boss. Okay, that's good. That's good because then that means I will be able to just Primal Turbo another energy onto here if he knocks out this, and then just kind of go from there. We shall see. This is one of my favorite matchups too, because sometimes, like, I would say like Lugia is very favorable in this matchup just because it's like Yveltal and Tyranitar. I'm discarding a lot. Like I can Cragalanche, discard 2 cards, and still KO your Mew VMAX for big weakness, which feels really good. All right, we'll draw this energy here, and we just have game. We have game. He just doesn't know we have game, and that's totally okay. So we'll do this. We will Primal Turbo. We will play boss, grab this Mew, and we will single strike wings for the knockout here. And the box of disaster is totally fine. You don't ever mind taking that 8 damage onto your Yveltal or anything. And he concedes there, so alright. And that is the deck. I truly believe that this deck has the potential to climb you very, very far in the ladder. I've had tons and tons of luck with this deck. It is very easy to pick up and learn, and I really do enjoy playing Lugia. I've played it at my locals a lot, and I have been playing Lugia now about off and on for, I'd probably say, about the last 4-ish, 5-ish months. I did kind of swap between like Arctina for a while. I played Rapid Box for a bit just to kind of change it up a little bit, but I've always come home to the tried and true single strike Lugia build here, and it is really fun, and I do enjoy it, and hitting big numbers feels good. Your matchup spread is pretty good. You're favorable in a lot of things. You're unfavorable in like one matchup, which is Miraidon, and if you can get the Stonjourner to stick, you're doing pretty okay. You can win that game. It's not super unfavorable, but it is a little difficult sometimes just because your Lugia and your Archeops and your Squawkabilly and your Lumineons they all hit. Miraidon hits them for weakness because they are weak to lightning there. But you do really well into a lot of decks. You do well into a lot of the Arceus decks, the Lost Box decks you do really well in. Early game Cragalanche with Tyranitar is really, really good. You're discarding those cards. Sometimes you can discard some really key cards from them. And yeah, that is my thoughts and opinions. I really do believe that Single Strike Lugia VSTAR is the best deck, in my opinion, at the moment to be climbing that ranked ladder with. So let's head to the outro. Alrighty guys, thank you for watching this video. If you stuck through the whole video, I really appreciate it. This is the first video that I will be dropping on my YouTube channel, and this is what kind of is to kickstart my content creating career, if it were. I will be streaming on Twitch. I don't quite have a fixed schedule at the moment, but I will leave the link and all that stuff in the description below. I will also put the deck list in the description below. Let me know what you guys think. I really do think that this deck is a really big contender. I don't know if it's best deck in format or anything, but it's definitely pretty up there in the contender list for best deck. And I really do love it. It is tons and tons of fun to play. Yeah, and thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic evening.